Did Final Destination Bloodlines try to outgore Terrifier 3? Well, maybe they tried and it weren't a bad attempt, but nothing will ever top Terrifier 3's gore level because that was fucking horrific. However, I think this movie had a lot of creative deaths. It was horrific, it felt gory in places, and just everything that the other Final Destination movies had, and it didn't look out of place, put it that way, in terms of the other Final Destination movies. What I would say is that I actually enjoyed this sequel, and it's not often I say, like when a franchise comes back and then you get a sequel and then you go, oh, did we really need that sequel? This time, I would actually say, oh, we needed this sequel because it helped to polish off a storyline which would going since the very first film of who was that William Bloodsworth's character and why did he keep helping out all the surviving victims and basically giving them advice. This movie helps wrap that storyline up by basically turning around and saying he was a victim himself into this and that he was giving others advice because he's gonna go through the exact same thing eventually and that he won't avoid death. The thing is that he was part of a larger prophecy that all these people were going to die and that Iris managed to save the whole lot, and it just so happens that he was the last one, and now that it's going to kill through bloodlines and stuff, from which again we'll get onto in a second, so it makes a little bit more sense. But that idea of helping link Williams Wordsworth back around was great, and I think that was a fantastic end because I think that's the last you'll see of that character, and what a way to bow out. Like, that is the best way of helping to link him back into all of the 5 films and why now he feels more canon than he ever did before. And the story felt special as it didn't feel like person has vision. They tried to stop vision. Now death hunts them down when they've changed something and all these surviving victims are now being hunted down. This one's a little bit different. You basically see at the start of Iris sort of seeing what's going on around her, or this big event happens, and now you're thinking, she now will know what to do, she'll stop the event and go on to it. But at the beginning of the film, that's not what we see. We see actually that that is a dream, that is a nightmare of her granddaughter, who literally keeps dreaming over this nightmare of this big event that happens, this big tragedy, and she doesn't know what this means. Until she goes and talks to Iris for herself and realises that Iris actually managed to save all those people, hence why we come back to the full circle of the Final Destination thing. But instead of it hunting down one by one, this time death is hunting down the bloodlines because there was that many people. Since it's taken him that long to get through all these people, these now have had families. They've had their own little bloodlines, and now death's caught up to the fact that it was Iris's turn, and Iris was going to die anyways because she had gotten cancer, simply because death couldn't get her any other way. Even though her granddaughter Stephanie literally couldn't grasp this is an idea and this is real, Iris had to prove that this was real by walking outside her door where she'd been there for 20 years, keeping away from death trying to kill her, and proves to her that death was out to get her and the rest of her family by showing that death literally tried to kill her and did and was successful. And now Stephanie has to convince the rest of the family that this thing that Iris shouldn't have survived or seen the event unfold beforehand to be able to stop it. He now is killing one by one the family members. And I think this was a different story, completely different to what we've seen in the past, because we're seeing Stephanie sort of learn this through somebody else who's gone through the exact same thing. And technically we've seen that all the way throughout the Final Destination movies now with Williams Bloodsworth, who did the exact same thing, be able to offer advice and say, this is how you basically cope with death trying to chase you. You either die or you kill somebody else to pass on to the next one. And I think this was such a great idea and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Because now you've got a different sort of story going on. You're like, who's connected to this bloodline, who isn't? Who's going to get killed and who isn't? You've got all that sort of going on. And when we talk about creative deaths, honestly, they were creative. They were like anything that you could imagine that they could use, they fucking used. think the ending of the last two remaining people, being Stephanie and her younger brother, was cool, because I think we always get to that in the Final Destination movies anyway. It's not like your main character plus an extra one, plus the best friend, or plus this. You've always got two people that sort of survive that end thing, and you think maybe they've just escaped death. Maybe that's happened. And it looked as that way, as Stephanie looked like she died and being resurrected by her brother. However, that's where she becomes alert at this party later on, where she thought they'd escaped death, they'd moved on completely from death, and they have a conversation with somebody who sounds like a doctor and says, no, your heart doesn't stop beating even if you stop breathing. And that was the sort of thing going, oh shit, I didn't escape death. And then they get ran down by a train that came off the tracks by the penny that was dropped, and the woman picked it up. And then, so all these little domino effects really help to, like, and death working his magic in the slightest accidental tragic ways possible, in which just fitted the Final Destination universe. And I love this about all the Final Destination movies, where they get to the end of the film and you think they've escaped death, and then only for them to realise, oh shit, no, you fucking didn't, and death's coming for your ass. Before we jump back into this video, guys, please do us a massive favour and smash that subscribe button, because you do not want to miss a thing this week, next week, and the week after, because we've got tons and tons of content planned for you guys. And you can do us a massive favour by smashing that subscribe button, joining the community, getting updates to all the latest videos, from the YouTube shorts to the actual videos. It is well worth it, completely free, and you will not regret it. So for me, I think this is a 7.4 out of 10 and a great film. I don't think this is the best Final Destination movie like certain people have placed it. I do believe that the first and third film are the best two Final Destination movies, number 1 and 3. I don't mind 2. 4, after a rewatch, it's a bit and then 5's a bit as well. So for me, I think the best one is probably 3. And this movie, Bloodlines, doesn't feel out of place from any of those films. It feels like it belongs in the Final Destination universe. It's not the best. It's definitely not the worst. I just think it's just a damn good sequel. That's the best way to put it. But let us know down in those comments down below what you think of Final Destination Bloodlines. Is it one of the best films of the year? Is it one of the worst? Let us know all that jazz down in those comments down below. And if you have enjoyed this movie, then don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and comment. And if you haven't yet seen our Final Destination movie review, then go check that out right now.